I know that I'm speaking to parents and grandparents, and I don't want to alarm anybody here. But there is a life-threatening epidemic on our hands. This epidemic is affecting nearly 13 million children worldwide. The World Health Organization calls childhood obesity and one of the most serious public health problems of the 21st century. And the American Heart Association says that the number of obese children has more than tripled since 1971. Adults cannot make decisions for kids, but what we can do is create an atmosphere that will help children make good decisions. And we can do that by not doing certain things. I would like for us to consider 3 types of adults we should not be. We should not be shamers and blamers. We should not be cookie cops. And we should not be bleacher creatures. First, we should not be shamers or blamers. Trust me, obese children know they're obese. They feel bad enough about themselves already where they don't need to be criticized by adults. These adults should love them unconditionally. Of course, we can be concerned about our child's health, but hurting their feelings is not going to make them thin or lose weight. Fat shaming actually tends to increase the risk of a child becoming or remaining obese. We should not be shamers and blamers. If we take away every treat and we try to force total healthy eating, we make treats the forbidden fruit. And let's recall how the forbidden fruit worked for Adam and Eve. We should not be shamers and blamers. We should not be cookie cops. And we should not be bleacher creatures. What would happen if during the Super Bowl, when the score was tied and things were really tense, if the Patriot players had climbed up in the bleachers and shouted, "Hey coach, we want a touchdown"? All the players had to play, right? If you're part of your child's team, you have to live a healthy lifestyle as well. Do what I say and not what I do. It does not work in this type of situation. And if our child has the fat gene and we are naturally thin, we cannot ourselves eat cake and then give our kid kale. It just doesn't work that way. Even a preschooler is going to recognize the hypocrisy in that action. I would not attempt to give advice without talking to an expert. But no one, except for me in this situation, will be the expert because I am a formerly obese child. The expert I interviewed was me. I'm 24 and I weigh half as much as I did when I was 14. As you can see here, this was me when I was 14. I know what it's like to be bullied, to be shamed and ridiculed because of obesity. I understand what it's like to be worried about things like heart disease and type 2 diabetes before you're even old enough to drive a car. I know what it is like to see the extra pounds instead of seeing me. I know from experience that I was not helped by blamers and shamers. In fact, I refused to go to the doctors because I was afraid of seeing that high number on a scale, of being told I had high cholesterol. My pediatrician's nurse, who was not exactly a size 2 herself, would comment on my weight and me being obese. And I did not respond to cookie cops, but I did respond to having healthy foods available. And I did not respond to bleacher creatures like my pediatrician's nurse. I responded to doers, to team players like my mother, who took me to the gym and sweated along with me. She was a team player. Getting fit had to be my decision. But my family created a climate that made healthy living easier. Each of us can create a healthy climate in our family. if we stop shaming, if we stop policing and start setting an example that encourages our children to live healthy lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your patience as we did.